skies, and on every occasion that you do, I don't smile.
So welcome to Sensible Secondhand Reviews. Today we're in the Warwickshire countryside and I'm driving this 2018 MG3 1.5 Form Sport. It's been very kindly lent to me by Mr Lewis Mackland of Mackland's Motors. You'll see also a video of my 45 V6 on his channel as well, because we swapped cars today. Very blessed to have a lovely village to drive us through, and to be revisiting the MG3 after about 18 months of not owning one of these cars. And so far driving it, have I been missing out on anything? Yes, it's the thing I have actually. So the MG3 was launched in our market in 2013. There's only ever been a single engine option for it. There was a 1.3 available in some other markets, and sometimes as well in others there was an automatic option, but we only ever got this 105 brake horsepower 1.5 VTi tech engine, which yes, 105 brake horsepower. 0 to 60 in this car is about 10.4 seconds, and it is an awful lot of fun, particularly with this hydraulic power steering, which is rare in a modern car. Chassis work, a lot of development was done actually in Britain, and the earlier cars, which before January 2016 on the whole, were partially assembled at Longbridge from knockdown kits sent over from China. All cars after then, and the MG3 of course still being in production, are fully assembled in China and brought over here. Are they a lot of fun? Well, yes sir, they are. One of the things to be aware of when you buy an MG3 is the fact that the acceleration initially feels quite sluggish, and this engine is quite outdated now. Fuel economy figures are maybe between about 43 and 45 miles per gallon if you drive them gently and use a lot of motorway miles. This has got cruise control, so that is something to look for. It was really only available on the higher models initially, but in 2018 they did fit it to the very late pre-facelift Form Sports. Trim levels available on an MG3 were 3-time, which was very, very basic and didn't even have remote central locking. Then there was 3-form Sport, which is a very popular choice, along with the 3-star, which is initially the top of the range one. But later on there then came the 3-star Lux, and then in 2017 the 3-star Plus replaced the Lux, and those have a leather interior and some other minor upgrades. There was also a 90th anniversary special edition in 2014. In 2018, about sort of August time, the car got a comprehensive facelift, and that is comprehensively covered as well in the review that Mr Richardson from Furious Driving and I filmed about 2 years ago, when the MG Motor UK press office kindly sent me a 2019 MG3 1.5 exclusive for the week. So I'll link to that in the description below if you're interested in the post-facelift models. But because this is Sensible Secondhand Reviews, we only look at cars that you can buy for between £1,000 and £5,000. So those aren't quite in this territory. Excuse me, those aren't quite in the territory yet. All cars before January 2018 had only a 3-year warranty. And when we had an issue with fuel pump on ours, we had to sort that out ourselves. It wasn't that bad of a job. I think it was £100 for the part, a genuine part from MG, and £100 of labour. So wasn't the worst thing, and that really was mainly the only problem we had with the car. So yes, certainly still worthy of a drive and worthy of recommendation. And because of the number of MG3 reviews we've got on my channel already, we've got 2 full reviews already, and this car's not actually that different, particularly from the one that we used to have, which was the pre-facelift one. We won't spend too long looking at this, but because a pre-facelift review really wasn't that well sort of received when we did it in October 2018, sorry, September 2018, it's even longer, we will just have a quick look around this car. Now, Mr Mackland, and you can see it's definitely his car because it has the Mackland's Motors symbol on it there, has actually painted these wheels himself. If it did not come like this, they would have been silver originally. But I think actually with this car, it helps it stand out a little bit from all the others. And they did sell reasonably well. They sell even better now with the facelift, but they are actually quite nice looking cars. A lot of people who own pre-facelifts, and you know, ours was a pre-facelift too, actually do prefer the look of them from the front. You can tell this is a what's called a stop-start car, which came in early 2016 because it's got a chrome strip at the bottom of the grille. Despite the fact this is an 06 plate, it is a 2018 car. That's Mr Mackland's private plate on it. So Form Sport is sort of in the middle of the range, really. There's no parking sensors on this one. But it's a very late car. It's a 2018 model. There is cruise control, which most of them didn't get. The exhaust on these is an interesting shape. It's like a square shape, and it sounds quite nice to me outside, but I don't think we're going to have a chance to actually sample that too much today. So if I open the door, one of the great things about an MG3 is the amount of rear space in it, and as you can see, Morris is sitting in the back, who's wearing the MG hat. If I just climb in, I'll show you. This is my driving position, and I am 5'11", and I've actually got room here. If this was a Fiesta of the period, I wouldn't have any at all. I probably need to go forward a little bit actually for this, but you can see how far you can go back. We've actually got map pockets on here as well, and because of the pre-facelift, I'll just move that away to stop that happening. There are door bins in the back, and we've got these rather interesting handles and different switches. We've got some fabric as well on the door cuts, which you don't get on the post-facelift versions for some reason. Big sort of cup holder thing here, which has you know, stuff for, you know, hand sanitizer. There's sort of like a biro holder or whatever in the middle. I never worked out what that was for actually, and you know, but we had of ours. We had it for 3 years, and just lots of space, lots of space, loads of headroom. And as I said, just putting the seat forward a little bit would give me quite a lot of leg room. There are no things like armrests in here, but you don't need an armrest in a car this price, really. I think this car, when it was new, would have been under £10,000, which is insane value. And it's still under warranty because all MG3s from January 2018 came with a 5-year warranty, which is wonderful. So we open up the boot. Very easy on a pre-facelift one. The release on a post-facelift is actually here rather than there, but I prefer that. About 285 litres of space. We've actually not got much in here today at all because you can get a boot liner. I've never seen one of those before. The standard in these was actually a inflation kit like this and some jump leads. So it's a pretty practical boot. You can put the spare wheel from Rover 25 in the compartment under the floor if that's what you prefer. As I said before, no parking sensors on this, but because this is a Form Sport, and the style models would have had this as well, we get this sort of black sort of area next to the number plate, and a sort of rear spoiler too. I'll try to get out of these sort of sunlight, because it's always an enemy when you're filming reviews, this feeling of sunlight. 16-inch wheels on this one, which is the same as the style model we had, which had diamond cut wheels on it. Let's have a look at the dashboard. Okay. This time I actually put the key in, which will actually help in terms of... oh gosh, not this light again. There we go. If I put the key in, it will actually help, so I don't have to sort of transfer it in between my hands. With these earlier MG3s, the dashboard looks, to my mind, a little bit sort of old-fashioned. It's okay, you get used to it, but just a bit old-fashioned. I'll have to mute that stereo when it comes in. We'll just point that down out of the way. Let's mute that straight away. There we go. Just turn that down with this fan speed. Now, this is perfectly normal. It's an interesting feature to have the temperature like that. This actually rotates the... Gosh, it's light. Right. I point it there. There we go. This rotates the direction of the air, so you can see like that. And the fan speed is just here, which is a bit annoying. And also, these are the door locking buttons. They don't feel particularly high quality either. So I point this down to stop getting in the way of the light. See, we've got this 5-speed manual gearbox. All MG3s in this country have 5-speed manual gearboxes. I think this is MG's own gearbox. I don't think this is brought in from anywhere. Cigarette lighter, very helpful, 12-volt socket. And the hazard light switch is here, which is a bizarre place for it. I don't know why they put it here. On post-facelift cars, the ventilation and heating controls are very different. The radio, just see if we can point this up without, there we go. Radio is supposed to be the AB. It's not currently working in this car, but it's very simple. The buttons, again, don't feel the sort of highest quality, but they are, you know, they're okay. They you know, they do the job. See if we can move over to the instrument cluster now without, again, getting the light too much in. There we are. That's really all it is. You do get things like an MPG readout. Oh gosh, the light. Oh. Sorry if it's a problem with Sensible Secondhand Reviews, where we don't really have much in the way of budget for, you know, things to stop the light doing that, and there's not much I can do if it's coming into that angle, so I'll just continue to do that. If I pause 1 second, I'll see if I can put my hand in a different place so I can cycle through the trip menu. Okay, viewers, I've changed my hand position, so we should be able to be okay now. So if we cycle through this trip menu, there we go. We can see straight 2.5 degrees today, 200 miles of fuel, MPG, well, I think we've got to turn the car on for that. There we go, average MPG, 45 parts per gallon. That's for what a long journey of one of these. And that's the distance until service. And it's got tyre pressure monitoring as well, which is very handy. Right. We can switch hands again now. There. The glove box on these is absolutely huge. I don't know my secret mission document to be today, but you can fit all kinds of stuff in there. Everything that you need. Also, we've got this area with 2 cup holders in there as well, and further storage there. If I pull this here, you can see we've got even more storage of this massive door bin down there at the bottom. Now, the switches don't feel the highest quality, but then this, again, was not an expensive car. This started at £8,400 when it was new, and they feel okay. They seem to have worn okay, but bear in mind this car is just over 3 years old, so you'd hope it would. And in this one as well, it's got no automatic wipers or automatic lights. They are just normal, but, you know, just pay a little extra for a star model and you get those standard. Right, let's have a look at the engine. So the coolant reservoir in this is very interesting. It's sort of down there, which is a mistake that some garages often make. They don't look at it properly and they might overfill it or something. Just be careful of that when you're buying one of these. This is a 1.5 VTi Tech engine, I think they call it. It develops 105 horsepower. Now, they're generally quite reliable. If you're looking at one that's before 2016, a pre-start stop model is what they're called, then sometimes they can suffer from chain cam failure, sometimes clutches can go on them, and there are 1 or 2 other issues. The fuel pump can fail, which is what happened on our car. So just be aware of those sorts of things. The ones after January 2016, the start-stop ones with this little chrome strip on them are generally considered to be more reliable. The fact they're not made in Britain anymore, does that have anything to do with it? I will leave that up to you to decide. One thing you do see here is actually a hydraulic reservoir for a power steering fluid, because it actually has hydraulic power steering, unlike virtually every other modern car which has electric power steering. Right, time for another drive. One thing about driving one of these cars is you notice the ride is quite firm. It does kind of bounce along somewhat, but the reward of this is superb handling, like nothing else. I mean, if Fiesta handles well, this is almost as good, if not slightly better, I think, in some ways than a Fiesta. And, you know, I remember so much fun we had with the one that we owned. Yes, I'm so grateful to Mr Mackland for allowing me to have a go in this after all this time. It's been an absolute pleasure, although I'm not missing sort of quite how firm it can be over potholes and things like that. So viewers, should you buy a pre-facelift MG3? Yes, I think is mainly the answer to that question. I would probably go for a car that's fitted with stop-start like this one from after January 2016, simply because they tend to have better reliability than the early ones, which, as I know from having owned one myself for 3 years, did have a few problems. But generally, they represent extremely good value for money. This car has Group 4 insurance. In fact, all pre-facelift MG3s have Group 4 insurance. And it's still just as fun to drive as ever it was. I can't think of a more suitable car for a young driver for, under £5,000, with the exception of maybe a Mark 7 Fiesta. But these are rarer and they aren't as expensive as those. Yeah, chain cam engine in them, so after January 2016 you shouldn't need to worry about that sort of thing, and some of them like this one are still under warranty. So there we go. It's nice revisiting us after quite a long time of not owning one. Thank you for watching this episode of Sensible Secondhand Reviews. Thank you, of course, to Mr Mackland from the Mackland's Motors YouTube channel for the loan of this car. Please don't forget to subscribe to him as well. And yes, see you again soon for another episode.